Barry, welcome back to Raith TV. It's only been a week since we had a Derby Day victory, but it seems a long time ago since we've seen some football. How have things been?
Not good. Listen, Derby's forgotten about. It's gone, done. Fans had a great time. It was a good performance from the team, but we move on, and we've got a really difficult game that we need to focus on here. Take the positives, take that confidence, but we move on.
You've certainly not been hanging about this week. A question that's been asked, I think every time you sit down with a journalist or here at Raith TV is, how's recruitment? What's the options? How are you looking to build the squad? By goodness, you have acted this week. 3 lads coming in. Can you tell us a wee bit about them?
Yeah, I think so. I think we needed to give Louis Stevenson a hand on the left hand side. Obviously, he's probably the only player that can play there, and so we thought we would take Ewan in to give us a helping hand there. He's a young player who's hungry, aggressive, and he wants to perform well, and he wants to grab that chance to play there. So yeah, we took him in from Motherwell. He's played about 20-30 games in the Scottish Premier League, so he should come from good pedigree. We also we've been short in the centre back area. I think everybody saw that, so we took Big Dara in, 6'4". He's a man. He's got experience of the league, and he's actually pretty quick on the turn. He can run as well. So a threat in both boxes for set plays. So yeah, he's one that's come in to give us a bit of competition in the centre back area. And obviously George Gentles we've taken in as well, went from Rangers as part of the corporation agreement, who's a young exciting talent. He's another one, 6'2", strong, good runner, good technically, and yeah, he's here to as a young player. He's still a young player, got a lot to do, but he's here to try and fight it out with some of the really good players we've got at the top end of the pitch. So we knew it was areas that we needed to strengthen on, and we've still got. We probably still would like to do one more if we could.
Excellent news for us Raith Rovers supporters. It strikes me that depth of choice, pressure to perform, a fight for the jerseys. These all seems like scenarios that you would like.
Yeah, that's it, and the squad know that. We're going to need everybody. It's a long season. We've got lots of games to come, suspensions, injuries, it can all happen, lots of form. So yeah, I was looking in there today when we were doing a match prep, and the players that weren't in the team. Yeah, I'm sure that gives the boys that are starting tomorrow a think about how they'll need to perform, because that's what we need here. We need a culture, a culture of being together, but a competitive culture of trying to perform in the team and trying to be in the team, because they all want to play, and I want to pick them all because they work so hard. I've got the hardest job, and but no, there really is competition. When I came in last year, I thought with some really good players we did, and I didn't think there was depth in the squad. There wasn't. If we wanted to try and change things up, or we mix it up, or we got injuries, or players were tired, I felt like we didn't have that depth in the squad. I feel now that it looks a bit stronger. The squad, it looks a bit more depth, a bit more competition for the jerseys. So that's important, and yeah, I think it's healthy. I think it's good. I think I can see the training ramping up a wee bit when some new bodies coming in, because they know that they're going to need to perform to stay in the team.
Any wider comment on the fitness of the group as we head into the weekend's game, and of course we've always got an eye on Callum making his way back?
Yeah, Smithy's doing well. We actually had a session on the other day for him. He was just feeling his quad a wee bit, nothing serious, just wanted to give him a day's rest. It was one where we were doing a sort of recovery bit against some mannequins and stuff, and we tried to get him out on pitch with us, but Gregor said no, because he was feeling his quad. So no, I think is next week, don't quote me on this, is maybe next week or the week after, I think he gets his final test with the surgeon and all the rest of it, and if that's fine, that's him back in training. But we won't see him for a wee bit after that, because he's going to need a good 3-4 weeks with us properly. But he looks good, looks strong, so he'll be another one good to have back. And but what I've seen of him, Well, I think he could suit playing in this team as well. So there's going to be real competition up there.
I agree 100% that that's the hardest seat at Starks Park within Raith Rovers. But when you sit in this seat at a pre-match interview, and supporters will say, ask questions about the game coming up, but we know you can only tell us so much. You're not going to tell us the formation, the tactics, the lineup and such. What do you want to tell us about the game that's ahead tomorrow?
That's always the problem, and you say, they never tell you that. You never tell you. Okay. You're not going to give your team away. You're not going to give details even after a game. Sometimes you need to be clever what you say after a game. Well, I try to be, because there's times when I've looked back on previous managers, what they said after games, even if I played them 8 weeks ago. What did they say? What are they thinking? So, sorry to the supporters out there to disappoint them, but no. What I do know is Partick are a good side, by the way. We need to realise that. I've said that to the players in there. I think they'll be up there again this year. I think they've got some terrific players, and this is going to be tough. This is going to be a tough game, but one that we're looking forward to. Obviously, we've got a bit of confidence about us, and so they should, the players, because they've been performing well. But also knowing what can be around the corner, and we talk about it all the time. And the minute you take that ounce off, you're in trouble. So, and also with the group getting stronger as well, I'm expecting a full-blooded performance from them tomorrow.
Wider bit of good news that's just come in across the squad is an international call-up from Malaysia for Richard. Really recognition of the hard work he's put in, the good kid that he is, but also good on Raith Rovers getting him to that point. Yeah,
but what a difference in a player I've seen, and there's credit to the staff here, and the players, by the way, have helped him. He's, from the moment I saw him the first time, obviously we were recruiting him, it was... You could see everything he had. You could see the speed, the drop of gears. What you see now, the worrying factor for us as a club was obviously with Rory and people doing the data and that, who smart guys who are, and then they managed to picking out these players, and when you look at them and you look and you go, yeah, I can see it, but you've got to look at the person next to him. Who's he playing against? So that's the bit you're like, well, what level's that? Because that's all right, looking at him, he can look good, but what level's he playing next to? Because, I mean, maybe even me right now could still do good at a level, but the level that he needs to come to. So the improvement in him as a player, he's infectious, the boys love him, the fans love him, he works ever so hard, he listens to every single thing you say, he works hard, and he keeps improving, and at the moment he looks really dangerous for us. When he comes on for about 20-25 minutes, he looks really... I still think we're trying to build his engine a little bit inside. There's still things we're trying to build in him, but yeah, I'm hoping that he can be a real good player for us, and really credit to him to go and get a call up to the national squad. And the biggest probably annoyance for me is nothing to do with Richard and getting his call up. There's another player we lose, and then you get other clubs that are going calling off games because players are waiting international, but one of our players that can really affect the game, we still have to play. Why is that? Is that right, is it? We might have 2 players going away in international duty, but just because we have 3, we have to go and play the game. But a team that can go, or just because they've got 3, or they can cancel. It's not right, that. It's not, it has to be one or the other for me. It really does, because a team like us, we could lose a player who could be outstanding and one of our top players, and we have to go 2 games without him, but we can't call it off. That's a big thing. That's big. So it's a bit I don't agree with it. You either let all the teams do it or nobody does it, and I think that's fair.
But he picked up on something I was going to look at kind of finishing off with, and that is that midweek coming up, we've got a Q&A session with supporters, and I'll help get questions across to you. How are you finding that interface with Raith Rovers supporters day to day, week to week? You've been here quite some time now.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a hermit. I like to go back, and we've got an apartment here, and I like to go and have a walk along, and I don't know, I often like to go and run along the boulevard there. I do that, but no, and I'm pretty much just sitting in my office in there all the time. I don't get much time to do anything else, so no, it's just been that in the shops. The fans have been great every time I go in the shops, so you speak away to them or on the street, they've been really good, and Because I don't know the rest of it with social media. I don't have it. I don't know it. I don't understand it. It's not for me. Life's there to be enjoyed without listening to people that want to bully people online or whatever they do. So it's no interest to me that whatsoever. I'd rather meet people face to face and what you see in the street.
There'll certainly be no bullying when we have that session next Tuesday. But meantime, what you've done is great start to the season, and you've told us a lot of information that's there for us to get excited about. So we'll get down to Firhill tomorrow and we'll give the team our backing.
Yep, thank you.